Hello future CPAs! Our lesson for today is partnership operations. As we have mentioned in the meaning of partnership in the previous video, the partners has the intention of dividing the profit among themselves. The accounting of such is pag-aaralan natin ngayon sa video na to. So there are several tools that are being used to allocate the profit of the partners. Say for example, partner A and partner B. Si partner A, 700k ang ininvest niya sa partnership at si partner B, 300k ang kinontribute niya sa partnership. Ang napagkasunduan nila na P&L ratio based on their partnership agreement is 50-50. Noong 2024, nagkaroon ng net income ang partnership na 100,000 and noong 2025, nagkaroon ng net loss naman ang partnership na 50,000 pesos. So for example, yung net income na 100,000 noong 2024, paano kaya natin i-allocate yan sa partners? 50-50, ibig sabihin tag 50 mil na lang sila. Paano kung halimbawa, si partner A pala is industrial partner at si partner B is a capitalist partner? So, there are other incentives na pinoprovide natin sa profit allocation depende kung ang partner is industrial partner, capitalist partner, or managing partner. Kasi, kung titingnan natin, for example, sa 2025, kung nag-incur ng net loss na 50,000 pesos, does it mean na si industrial partner mag-i-incur siya ng 25,000 worth of net loss? Magiging unfair kay industrial partner since ang magiging share na niya dapat sa loss is yung labor niya na in-expend niya sa partnership na nag-result lang sa loss. Kaya sometimes, P&L ratio alone is not enough to allocate the profit of the partnership or the loss of the partnership. Hindi siya enough basis kung ito lang alone ang gagamitin natin to allocate the profit. So, for example, a partner is an industrial partner. Usually, ang incentive na binibigay natin sa kanila is salary. Since industrial partners are expected to be on the everyday operations of the partnership, binibigyan natin sila ng salary. For the capitalist partners, which is sila yung nagpapasok ng pera sa partnership, binibigyan natin sila ng interest sa pera na pinapasok nila or ini-invest sa partnership. And finally, the managing partner, which is the leader of the partners, sila yung nagdadrive ng leadership ng partnership. Kapag nagkakaroon ng net income ang partnership, binibigyan natin sila ng bonus. Kasi yung leadership nila ang nagdrive sa partnership, parang operations magkaroon ng profit. Kasi kung hindi naging maganda yung pamamalakad ni managing partner, malamang net loss ang partnership, hindi tayo mamimigay ng bonus. So, that's the rule of thumb sa bonus, na binibigay lang natin sila ng bonus, yung mga managing partners, kapag may profit ang partnership. So, going back to our example, P&L ratio alone is not enough basis to allocate your profit. So the tools would be salary, interest, bonus, and finally, allocate the residual profit maybe through P&L ratio or kung may pinrovide sa problem na separate residual ratio. So for interest, apat yan. We have original capital, beginning capital, ending capital, and average capital. Tandaan mo na itong apat na to is from the point of view ng bawat partner based on their interest sa partnership. Kung magkano ba yung original na ininvest ni partner A, for example, 700k, kung magkano yung beginning capital ni partner B, for example, 300k, kung magkano yung ending capital, for example, ni partner A, after the allocation of 100k net income, and finally, yung average capital in which pinoprorate natin yung bawat investment and bawat withdrawal ng partners sa partnership based on months outstanding over 12 months. So, itong original and beginning capital, it is quite confusing for some, siguro, kung anong pinagkaiba ng dalawa. Magkapareho lang siya kung ang pinag-uusapan is a partnership wherein the date of formation is in the current year. So, for example, year 2024 natin kinreate yung partnership. So, kung ano yung beginning balance nila, which is 1 million, yun din yung magiging original capital nila, which pertains to their original contributions, yung unang-unang contributions nila. But let's say the partnership is established 5 years ago, magkaibang original capital sa beginning capital. Dahil yung original capital, yun yung capital contribution ng partners 5 years ago, pero since dumaan yung 5 years, meron ng mga net income at net loss na na-allocate sa partners, kaya dun magiging based yung beginning capital. After ng net income or net loss ng mga partners during the course of 5 years. So, these are the possible scenarios naman for P&L ratio. So, by the way, yung bonus, diniscuss na natin kanina, binibigay lang siya pag may profit. So, let's now proceed to residual. Paano ba nidi-distribute yung residual profit? So, usually, it is using the P&L ratio. So, if the P&L ratio is expressly stated on the problem and si company mo is nagkaroon ng profit, syempre, ang gagamitin natin is profit ratio. Kapag loss si company, loss ratio ang gagamitin natin. Kapag naman, for example, sa problem, hindi sinabi kung ano yung P&L ratio, then, halimbawa, profit si company. Pero, hindi given yung profit ratio. Pero, may given na loss ratio. The question is, pwede ba natin gamitin ang loss ratio to distribute yung profit ni company? The answer is no and never. Ngayon, paano kung walang given na profit ratio, walang given na loss ratio? Ang gagamitin natin na ratio to distribute the profit is their capital contribution ratio. In which case, obvious naman, 70-30. So, capital contribution ratio. Now, kapag loss si company and walang given na loss ratio pero may given na profit ratio, can we use the profit ratio to distribute the loss of the company? The answer is yes. So, tandaan nyo lang yung distinction between profit or loss. Pag profit, you cannot use loss ratio kung walang profit ratio. Pero sa loss ng company, pwede gamitin ang profit ratio to distribute the losses if the loss ratio is absent. And the final resort, kung wala pareho yan, capital contribution ratio. Now, etong average capital, kanina we mentioned na kino-compute natin yan based on the investment and withdrawals ng partners. So, how do we account for the withdrawals of the partners? So, we have what we call permanent withdrawals and temporary withdrawals. When we say permanent withdrawals, ito yung bigla na nang nag-withdraw si partners. Kapag temporary withdrawal, ito yung planned withdrawal. Actually, sa books ng partnership, meron pang tinatawag na drawing account. Yung drawing account, dun muna iniipon lahat ng mga temporary withdrawals ng partners and then later on, kino-close siya sa capital account. So, sa computation natin ng average capital, kino-consider natin yung permanent withdrawal pero hindi natin kino-consider yung temporary withdrawal kasi planned withdrawal nga siya. The reason why we are computing average capital is ini-encourage natin yung partners na itago lang nila yung pera nila sa partnership, mag-invest lang sila ng additional contribution sa partnership, pero dapat hindi sila mag-withdraw ng pera sa partnership because such cash is being used to fund the operations of the partnership. Kaya ayaw natin na si partner napapadalas yung withdrawal. At kapag napapadalas yung withdrawal, we have to consider that in the computation of average capital, which is a determinant dun sa interest na i-allocate natin dun sa partner. So kapag the more na nagwi-withdraw siya ng pera sa partnership, bababa yung interest niya. Ibig sabihin, it is highly likely na mas mababang net income ang madidistribute sa specific partner na yon na withdraw ng withdraw. Pero, ang exception to the rule is yung temporary withdrawals na tinatawag. Yung temporary withdrawals, pwedeng makita natin sa problem. Example, the partners are allowed to withdraw, halimbawa, 2,000 pesos per month. So, pagka ganon, medyo i-analyze mo, baka temporary withdrawal lang yun. Pero in computation of ending capital, whether permanent or temporary withdrawal, i-consider natin siya sa ending capital because whether permanent or temporary withdrawal, either way, it constitutes cash outflow sa partnership. So, kailangan ibawas natin yan sa capital ni partner. I-credit natin yan sa capital ni partner. And to further illustrate, yung temporary withdrawal, for example na lang, si letter A, nag-withdraw siya ng 2,000 pesos. Pero yung 2,000 pesos, pinapayagan naman yun sa partnership. Meaning to say, that's a planned withdrawal or a temporary withdrawal. The journal entry would be debit A drawing, credit cash, 2,000. Yung A drawing, temporary account lang yan na at the end of the year, kino-close natin sa capital account. So, para ma-close yan, kailangan i-credit natin A drawing, credit. Tapos, i-debit natin sa A capital para mabawasan yung capital niya dahil nag-withdraw siya, 2K. So, ganyan yung journal entries niya para lang mas maintindihan ninyo. Ngayon, sa bonus naman, we have what we call, ito yung mga 2 major scenarios na pwede nyo ma-encounter sa bonus. Net income before bonus and net income after bonus. So, yung basis, pwede yan, yung basis na sinasabi dyan, pwedeng net income lang o kaya kung net income after salary, edi net income minus salary. O kaya sinabi sa problem, net income after salary and interest. So, pwedeng net income minus salary minus interest yan. So, itong times 10% kapag before bonus, di ba? Kapag naman after bonus, ang gagawin dyan usually is algebra, which we will explain later in full detail. Pero ang shortcut doon is by multiplying the basis amount to a fraction in which the numerator is the bonus rate and the denominator is 1 plus bonus rate. So let's proceed to our problems. So requirements, number 1, determine the share of each partner in the partnership net income. And number 2, determine the ending capital balances of partner A and B respectively. Wala na tong letter C. So A and B's partnership began operations on March 1, 2021. So March 1 nagbigin yung operations, underline mo na kaagad yan. It means na for the first year of operation, 10 months lang nag-operate yung partnership. Kung monthly salary ang given sa partners, posibleng lituhin ka doon, kailangan ita times 10 mo lang. O kaya kung annual salary ang given sa'yo, ita times 10 over 12 mo lang. Kasi kung annual yon, ibig sabihin annum. So let's proceed. A invested 100,000 cash while B invested equipment with book value of 300K and fair value of 180K. So napag-aralan natin sa partnership formation, okay, wala tayong nakikitang agreed value sa problem na to. Pero may given na book value and fair value in which ang preferred natin is yung fair value. A invested additional cash of 20K on August 31, 2021. Magiging significant lang tong date na to kung pinapakompute tayo ng average capital balances. Pero I think dito sa problem na to, wala namang average capital balances. So we can simply ignore the date. Pero yung additional cash, considered yan. The partnership agreement stipulates the following. First bullet, monthly salaries of 2,000 and 10,000 to A and B respectively recognized as expenses. So, yung phrase na to na recognized as expenses, kahit hindi sabihin yan sa problem, wala namang magiging implication. Dahil as long as yung salaries binibigay natin sa partners at hindi sa employees, ginagamit natin yan as a tool to allocate our net income. So, monthly salary ang given. Date of formation is March 1. So, it's only 10 months until December 31. So, ita times 10 lang natin. So, for letter A, 2K times 10 equals 20K ang salary niya. For letter B, 10K times 10 equals 100K ang kaniyang salary for this year. Letter or bullet number 2. 20% bonus to B based on profit before deducting salaries and interest but after deducting the bonus. So, basically, ang algebraic expression yan is bonus equals yung profit niya, magkano ba? Dito tayo sa 6 bullet muna. The partnership earned profit of 210K before deductions for bonus and interest. So, if we are not careful sa pagsasagot ng problem, hindi natin mapapansin na hindi explicitly sinabi dito sa 6th bullet na before salaries din siya. So, before bonus and before interest. Pero hindi sinabi kung before salaries ba. So, kapag hindi sinabing ganon, kailangan i-add back natin yung salaries. Kasi, dapat, kapag in-add back natin yung salaries, yun yung magiging basis natin na amount na i-allocate. So, 210,000 plus the salaries. Ang salaries natin for A is 20K, for letter B is 100K, total is 120K. So, i-add back natin yung salaries para maging before bonus, interest, and salaries siya. In which, yun yung basis kasi ng bonus before salaries. So, 210 plus 120, 330,000. So, ipe-presume natin na after salaries siya. Kasi silent kung before or after. So, 330,000, yung talagang net income na i-allocate or di-distribute natin sa partners. So, now let's proceed with our algebraic expression of our bonus. Bonus equals 330,000 minus salaries na 120,000 and then after bonus pala. So, kung after bonus yan, 330K minus bonus times bonus rate na 20%. So, apply distributed property, 330K times 20%, 66,000. So, 66,000 minus B times 20%, 0.20B. And then, you can transpose sa kabila. So, minus siya. Pag transpose, magiging plus. So, 1B plus 0.20 is 1.20B equals 66K. So, 66 divided by 1.20, 55K ang ating magiging bonus. So, yun. So, by the way, yung algebra niyan, i-divide mo both sides by 1.20. Kaya ito, i-divide natin by 1.20 para makancel yan. So, may iwan letter B. Tapos, 55K na lang yung bonus. So, we already have our bonus. And finally, third bullet, 12% annual interest on the beginning capital of A. Ang beginning capital ni A is 100,000, which is in-invest niya nung nag-begin ng operations. So, wag mo isasali dyan yung additional cash na 20,000 kasi sa ending capital balance na natin yun i-consider. So, for third bullet, 100K times 12% equals 12,000. Pero take note, nag-start ang operations ng partnership no March 1, ibig sabihin, kung yung 12% kasi annum yan, yung 12% annual interest. So, ito times pa natin yan sa 10 over 12. So, 12,000 times 10 over 12, 10,000. So, medyo complicated na yung mga ganitong scenarios na may encounter nyo possibly sa mga review books nyo. Balance equally. So, ibig sabihin yung residual ratio natin is 50-50 kapag equally. The partners receive their monthly salaries at each month end. So, ganito yan. Pagka natanggap ng partners ang kanilang monthly salary, which is in this case, kay A, 2,000, kay B, 10,000, then it constitutes cash outflow. Meaning to say, drawing account yan. It's a withdrawal. Kanina, inaral natin, kapag merong withdrawal, pwedeng permanent, pwedeng temporary. Pero since salary naman yon, consider natin siya as temporary withdrawal. So, hindi natin siya i-consider sa average capital and wala rin namang average capital sa problem na to. So, let's just ignore that. Pero sa ending capital naman, i-consider natin siya since hinahanap sa problem yung ending capital. So, mamaya, ino-note natin na kailangan i-consider. The partnership earned profit of 210K. Ayan, so okay na. So, determine the share of each partner in the partnership net income. So, let's start. Letter A and letter B. Parang alita ata ng sulat ko. Anyway, so salaries, interest, bonus, and residual. Salaries, 20K for letter A, 100K for letter B. For interest naman, 10K for letter A. For bonus naman, 55K for letter B. So, your profit is 330K. Hindi 210 ha. 330. 330. So, 330 minus 20 minus 100 minus 10 minus 55. Ang natira na lang na profit ay nabura. 330 minus 20 minus 100 minus 10 minus 55. Ang natira na lang na profit ay didistribute sa residual is 145K. So, 145K and equally na lang daw yung balance. So, divide na natin sa 2 para mabilis. 72,500. So, ang share ng each partner sa partnership net income is, for letter A, 20 plus 10 plus 12.5, 42.5. For letter B, 100 plus 55 plus 72.5, 227.5. So, ang share ni partner A is 42.5. Kay partner B naman is 227.5. Now, let's compute for the ending capital balances of A and B. So, si A nag-invest ng 100,000 nung start ng partnership. Si B nag-invest ng equipment na 180K fair value. Tapos, si A nag-invest additional cash na 20K. Tapos, ang share in net income ni A is 42.5. Isama natin yan. And kay B, 227.5K. Tapos, kanina, ni-note din natin na the partners receive their monthly salaries at each month end. So, yung 20K, babawas natin yan kasi drawing yan. Pati yung 100K ni letter B. So, beginning capital, additional investment, share in net income, positive kasi profit. Pero ito, minus kasi withdrawal. So, let's compute. For letter A, 100 plus 20 plus 42.5 minus 20, 142.5K. For letter B, 180 plus 227.5 minus 100. Ending capital ni letter B is 307,500. So, that's for your problem number 1. Let's now go to problem number 2. Ang problem 2 natin, magfo-focus tayo sa computation ng bonus. Compute for the bonus assuming the following independent cases. Case number 1, bonus before salary, interest, and bonus. So, ang formula natin dyan is bonus equals net income times bonus rate since before lang siya lahat. Case 2, bonus after salaries and interest but before bonus. So, B equals, kapag before bonus, multiply pa din yung bonus rate. Pero dahil after salary and interest, net income minus salary minus interest times pa rin sa bonus rate. Next, bonus before salary interest but after bonus. So, pag after bonus na, dyan na natin i-apply yung algebra. Pero for purposes of fast computation, gamitin natin yung shortcut fraction natin. So, bonus equals net income before salaries and bonus times bonus rate over 1 plus bonus rate. And finally, bonus after salaries, interest, and bonus. So, net income after salary, after interest, tapos yung shortcut fraction na bonus rate over 1 plus bonus rate. So, let's read the problem. The following information are given. Net income, 250K. Total salary, 75K. Total interests, 20K. Bonus to partners, 10K. 10%. So, compute for the bonus assuming these scenarios. So, pinakamadali, case number 1, net income lang, which is 250K times bonus rate of 10%. That's 25,000 obviously. So, 25,000 ang answer for case number 1. For case number 2, bonus after salaries and interest but before bonus. So, for case number 2, dito na lang sa baba. So, your net income of 250K minus salaries of 75K minus interest of 20K. Let's compute. 250 minus 75 minus 20, 155K. 155K is your... Pero sige, ito yung algebraic expression yan. So, B equals... Ito nga, yung net income minus salary minus interest. So, 250, ulitin na natin, minus 75 minus 20. Tapos, sa times mo daw yan sa bonus rate. So, ang bonus rate natin, 10%. So, yung 10%, distributive property natin. So, pero para hindi mo na isa-isa i-multiply, i-add mo muna yan, or i-minus mo muna rather. 250 minus 75 minus 20, 155 yan. So, yung 155, saka mo ito times sa 10%. So, 15,500. Nalimutan ko lagyan ng minus bonus dito. So, distribute din yung 10% times B minus 0.10 bonus. So, sorry, hindi na pala kita. Yan. So, transpose dito. So, since negative yung sign, pag tinranspose, mababago. So, 1B plus 0.10, 1.10B. So, 1.10B equals 15,500. Divide both sides by 1.10 para ma-cancel to. Matitira yung B. So, final calculation, 15,500 divided by 1.10. Our bonus for case number 2 is 40,091. 14,091. For case number 3, wait. Yung ginawa natin dito, after bonus pala. So, ito yung solution for case number 4. Kasi, akala ko nalimutan ko kanina yung bonus, pero hindi pala. So, that's for case number 4. For case number 2, yung 155K, since before bonus siya, ito times mo lang yan sa 10%. So, ang bonus natin for case number 2 is 15,500. So, at least kahit nagkamali ako, mas nakita natin yung pagkakaiba. And, let's solve case number 3. Bonus before salaries, interest, but after bonus. So, yung net income lang mismo, which is 250K, walang ibabawas kasi before naman siya, pero after bonus siya, so times bonus rate over 1 plus bonus rate. Pero bago yan, i-express natin using algebra expression para mas maintindihan natin. So, 250K after bonus, so deduct the bonus times bonus rate which is 10%. Distributive property tayo, so 250K times 10%, that's obviously 25K. And then, bonus times 10%, that's 0.10B. Copy the negative sign. Transpose sa kabila. Pag tinranspose yung negative, magiging positive. So, that's B plus 0.10B. Kaya, ang outcome niyan is 1.10B equals 25K. Divide both sides by 1.10. B equals, so 25,000 divided by 1.10, 22727. Ang bonus natin for case 3. So, gawin naman natin this time yung shortcut. So, sa case number 3, yung 250K, pwede mo nang idiretsong i-multiply sa bonus rate over 1 plus bonus rate. So, 250, ito yun ha, 250 times 10 over 1, 110, 22727 din ang lalabas. In which, yun din lumabas nung nag-algebra tayo. So, ito yung mas madaling way. Sa case number 4 naman, which na-solve natin accidentally in advance, ang magiging basis natin, kasi di ba kanina nung nag-discuss tayo ng lecture notes, ito yung tinatawag natin na basis. So, ang basis natin this time, since yung case number 4 is after salary, interest, and bonus, ang basis natin is ito. So, yung net income less salary less interest, ito din yun. 250 minus 75 minus 20, actually 155 yan. So, 155K. So, yung 155K, which is our basis, yun ang i-multiply natin sa fraction natin. Times 10% over 110%. Let's compute. 155 times 10 over 110. 14,091. So that's for problem number 2, bonuses. Let's now proceed to problem number 3. Problem number 3, case 1, assuming no specific priorities given to any of the allocation criteria, magkano raw ang net income ni letter A? Pag no specific priority, pwede mo na nga actually i-disregard yung information na yan kasi pag walang specific priority, go with the flow ka lang dun sa information. And case number 2, assuming the income is distributed only as far as it is available, how much is the net income allocated to partner B? So, dito sa scenario 2, ang gagawin natin, since halimbawa, let's go to third bullet, the partnership earned profit of 150k per year. Yung 150k per year, babantayan natin pag nagdi-distribute tayo ng salary, nag-distribute tayo ng interest. From time to time, sisilipin natin kung pasok pa ba yun sa 150k. Kapag hindi na, babawasan na natin. Ang i-distribute lang natin, for example, sa interest tayo inabot ng 150k, yung enough amount lang ang i-allocate natin sa partners para yun lang yung madidistribute natin at hindi siya lalampas ng 150k. Let's go to the problem. A and B's partnership stipulates the following. A and B gets an annual salary of 60k and 80k respectively. So, lagay na natin dito, 60, 80. First bullet. Second, the average capital during the year were 50k for X and 100k for Y. Interest is imputed on the average capital balance at 10%. So, for X, 50,000 times 10%, that's 5,000. And for Y, actually A and B yan. So, A and B. For letter B, interest is 100k times 10%. Obviously, that's 10,000. So, the total interest would be 15,000. Third bullet, the partnership earned profit of 150,000 for the year. And the P&L ratio is 60-40, which we will use to distribute the residual profit. So, balik tayo sa second bullet, 5,000 salary for A and 10,000 salary for B. So, let's now compute. 60 plus 80 plus 5 plus 10, ang total na nadidistribute natin is 155. So, since sumobra na tayo ng 150, meron na tayong, di ba, 150 lang yung i-allocate na net income. Eh, nung namigay ka ng salary interest, naging 155 na. So, magdi-distribute ka ng loss na 5,000. Baka tatanong nyo, Sir, bakit may loss? Eh, profit nga tayo for the year. So, ang tawag kasi dito is theoretical loss. Ito yung residual loss na i-distribute natin sa partners based on 60-40. So, 50,000 times 60%, 3,000. 5 minus 3 is 2. So, let's now proceed. Pero dapat, wag mo kalimutan yung parenthesis. Kasi dyan marami nakakalimot, maraming nakaka-overlook. So, 60 plus 5 minus 3, 62,000 for A. 80 plus 10 minus 2, 88,000 for letter B. So, magkano raw yung income ni A? 62,000. That's letter B. Ngayon, mapapansin nyo dito sa scenario 1 na basta kung ano lang yung sinabi sa problem na pag-weigh ng pag-allocate ng profit, yun lang yung sinunod natin. Ina-adjust na lang natin sa last part which is the residual part. Kung lalampas na dun sa actual profit na 150k, edi mag-a-adjust tayo, magdi-distribute tayo ng tinatawag natin na theoretical loss. So, scenario 2, assuming the income is distributed only as far as it is available, how much is the net income allocated to partner B? So, only as far as it is available. So, dito, kopyahin na natin. Salary, 60k daw, tapos 80k kay B. So, ang total na niyan is 60 plus 80, 140. So, 140, 150 net income na i-allocate natin. Nakapag-distribute tayo ng 140. So, meron na lang tayong 10k dapat na i-distribute. Pero, yung interest, sumobra ng 5,000 kasi 15k dapat yung interest, di ba? So, paano gagawin natin? Ang i-distribute mo lang na interest dapat is 10k. Para sa sakto siya dito sa 150k. Pero, paano natin i-allocate tong 10k? Is it times 60-40? The answer is no. ang basis natin ng pag-allocate ng 10K interest, which supposedly dapat 15,000, is yung share ni X or ni A and B dun sa supposed to be interest. In which case, for letter A, 5 over 15. Kay letter B, 10 over 15. So, pinrorate lang natin basically. So, let's solve. So, 10 times 5 over 15. 3333. So, 3.33. So, it follows na 6.6667 ang i-allocate natin kay letter B. So, let's add 63.333 obviously and 86.667. So, magkano raw ang net income kay B? Kung ganito yung scenario, the answer is 86.667 letter boy. Let's now proceed to the last problem. This problem is comprehensive because it consists of computation of average capital balances. So how much is the share in net income of A and how much is the ending capital balance of B? So let's read the given. The following summarizes the capital transactions of partners A and B which started operations during 2019. So jump tayo dito sa number 2, the interest on average capital balance is 10% and 10%. Yung annual salary, okay, noted, that's 20K and 40K, straightforward lang. Pero dito, tayo magko-compute ng interest since percentage lang yung given. So, how do we compute yung weighted average capital balance? As we mentioned a while ago, average capital ang nagiging best basis for interest dahil dinidiscourage natin yung partners na mag-withdraw at ini-encourage natin sila na mag-invest dahil yung mga cash na yan is ginagamit ng partnership to fund its operations. So, we will use number of months outstanding for our fraction. So, si A muna yung compute natin. So, may 90K siya, may 60K, may withdrawal na 18K, and may investment na 27K. Ita-times natin yan sa specific fraction. The question is, what fraction kaya ang gagamitin natin? So, for example, ang fraction na gagamitin natin, hindi pala to example, ito talaga yun, is for our numerator, it would be the number of months outstanding. So, yung number of months outstanding, madali lang intindihin yan. Example, January 1 nag-invest. So, from January 1 to December 31, 12 months yon. So, 12 yung magiging numerator. For example naman, so 12 na, lagay na natin dyan. Ngayon, ang denominator mo is always 12 months. Constant yon, always 12 months. Unless expressly sabihin sa problem na 10 months lang, so possible yon. Pero other than that, 12 months. Ngayon, yung number of months outstanding, balik tayo dyan. For example, June 30. Nag-invest sa 60K. From June 30 to December 31, there are 6 months. So, 6 over 12 ang gagamitin nating fraction. Ngayon, nagkakaroon ng dilema paano pag August 15 tas September 16? Paano namin bibilangin? E di magde-decimal point tayo kasi kalahating buwan lang yan. So, ganito ang gagawin natin dyan or notes natin dyan. Pagka halimbawa, August 1 to 15, ika-count natin as August 1. Kita mo? Pagka 16 to 30 or 31, so September 16 to 30 or other months na merong 31, ika-count natin as September 30. Okay? So, balik tayo. August 15, 15 lang siya, count siya as August 1. So, from August 1 to December 31, there are 5 months. That's for August. Pero itong September pala, so September 30 to December 31, that's 3 months. So 3 over 12 lang yan. And for November to December, 2 months yon. So 2 over 12. So typically, ang gagawin ng isang student na hindi pa marunong mag-M+ sa calculator is ganito. So, i-add niya, di ba? Yata kita yung calcu. Yan. So, 90 times 12 over 12. So, 90. So, susulat siya 90. 60 times 6 over 12, 30. So, susulat siya 30. 18 times 3 over 12, 4.5. So, sulat siya 4.5. And 27 times 2 over 12, 4.5. So, susulat siya 4.5. By the way, this is negative. Tapos, siya kanya lang i-add na 90 plus 30 minus 4.5 plus 4.5. So, ang sagot natin is 120. Pero actually, pwede mong makuha yan, lahat, ang 120 na amount, kahit idire-diretso mo sa calculator using this method. So, sasabayan nyo ako ha. So, 90 times 12 over 12, tigel, and then m plus ka muna, and then proceed to the next transaction, 60 times 6 over 12, m plus, tigel, and then proceed to the next transaction, 4,500, m minus, tigil, proceed to the next transaction. Sorry, ulitin nga natin. So, 90 times 12 over 12, m plus, tigil, and then 60 times 6 over 12, m plus, and then 18 times 3 over 12, at dahil withdrawal, m minus, and then 27 times 2 over 12, since positive siya, m plus. So, kapag tapos na, pindutin mo na yung MRC. So, 120 pa rin yung lalabas. So, I don't know for the other calculators, pero there are similar buttons for sure sa ibang calculus na hindi MRC. Basta hanapin nyo lang yung katabi ng M plus at M minus. So, kung ngayong alam na natin yung easier way of computing your average capital balance, let's now go to average capital balance of letter B. So, nag-invest ng 100K, 108K, 12K, 16.8K, and 30K. Yung 108K, 12 over 12 lang yan. Yung 12K, since June 30 yan, 6 months to up to December 31, 16,800. That's yung August 15, since August 15 siya, counted siya as August 1. So, from August to December, August, September, October, November, December, 5 months. So, times 5 over 12. And finally, December 31, nag-withdraw siya. So, ang magiging fraction dyan is 0 over 12. Anything multiplied to 0 is 0. So, hindi na natin i-consider yan. So, let's add naman to using m plus. So, 108 times 12 over 12, m plus, 12 times 6 over 12, m plus, and then 16.8 times 5 over 12, since withdrawal, m minus. So, m minus, and then MRC. Our average capital balance for letter B is 107,000. So, buuin ko na to. So, na-compute na natin yung interest. Meron na tayong salary. Let's now compute for bonus. Your bonus is after salary and bonus. So, ang salary mo na total, kasi sabi after salary, so, lahat ng salary na binigay sa partner is worth 60K. So, 60K, our formula for basis, bonus, depende kung anong net income. Ang profit, 93K. So, 93K, minus salary of 60K times 10% over 1 plus 10%. So, 93 minus 60 times 10 over 110, 3,000 ang bonus natin for letter A. And finally, yung residual 4060. So, tinatanong, how much is the share in net income of letter A? Ito pala additional information, basahin din natin. Throughout the year, each partner withdrew 2,000 per month in anticipation of partnership net income. So, kapag ganyan yung terminology, in anticipation, i-consider natin yan as temporary withdrawal. Kapag temporary withdrawal, hindi natin kino-consider sa computation ng average capital balances. So, tama lang na hindi natin siya kinonsider kanina. So, yung temporary withdrawals, on the other hand, kino-consider siya sa computation ng ending capital balance. So, be wary na lang pag yan yung tanong, i-consider natin yung temporary withdrawals. The partners agree that these withdrawals are not to be included in the computation of average capital balances for purposes of income distribution. So actually, kahit yung statement na yan is i-omit natin from the problem. For example, yung problem na ma-encounter nyo, wala namang ganyan na nakalagay. Hindi pa din talaga natin i-consider yung withdrawal sa computation ng average capital balance, and that is an absolute rule. So please take note of that. Now, how much is the share in net income of partner A? So let's compute. So salary ni A, 20. Salary ni B, 40. Interest on average capital, 120,000 average capital times 10%. Obviously, that's 12K. And 107,000 times 10%. Obviously, that's 10.7K. So this is the salary. This is the interest. For bonus, 3,000. And for residual. So, let's compute kung magkano na so far ina-allocate na profit. By the way, our profit is 93K. So, 20, 40, 12, 10.7. 20 plus 40 plus 12 plus 10.7 plus 3. 85.7 na yung na-allocate natin. So, ang residual natin is 7,300. So, 7.3K. So, let's allocate using this ratio. 7.3K times 40% for A. That's 2.92. For B, minus na natin 7.3K. 4.38K. And then let's add. For letter A, 20 plus 12 plus 3 plus 2.92. Our answer is 37,920, letter B. So, kapag sa board exam, specific partner lang yung tinanong kung magkano yung net income, wag mo na computein yung sa isang partner na hindi naman tinatanong para hindi maubos yung oras mo. Pero for purposes of discussion, let's compute the net income of B. 40 plus 10.7 plus 4.38, that's 55.08. And scenario number 2, how much is the ending capital balance of letter B? So, let's now consider ito. Dito lang natin yan kukunin. So, for letter B, so si A, wag na natin i-compute, si letter B na lang. So, ang beginning balance ni B is 108. Nag-invest siya ng 12,000, nag-withdraw ng 16,800, nag-withdraw ng 30,000. So, ang ending capital balance niya is 73,200. Ending capital balance pero before income. So, ang share ni letter B sa net income is 55,080. So, let's add that. And then, meron ba dapat i-minus? Meron. Dahil nag-withdraw ang partner ng 2K per month. So, January 1 naman, sakto. So, ita-times na natin to sa 12. So, 2,000 times 12, obviously, that's 24,000. So, 24,000 ang withdrawal ni letter B for the month. So, ending capital, and then share in net income, and then withdrawals. So, ang ending capital balance ni letter B is 732 plus 55,080 minus 24,000. The answer is 104,280, letter C. And that concludes our lesson for partnership operations.